Every day you wake up, life gives you two choices. Repeat the same patterns that keep you stuck, or rise up and take one more step toward the person you're meant to become. The truth is, progress isn't about massive overnight change. It's about small, deliberate, consistent growth that compounds into something extraordinary. If you want to get better each day, you must decide that every sunrise is another opportunity to become more, stronger, wiser, more focused, more alive. So let's talk about how to get better each day. Not someday, not when it's convenient, but today. The biggest reason most people never truly improve is because they are chasing the illusion of perfection instead of embracing the reality of progress. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect motivation, but perfection is a trap that kills momentum before it even begins. If you want to get better each day, you must shift your focus from getting everything right to simply getting things done. Progress, no matter how small, is the real path to transformation. Every step forward, even the tiniest one, has power. Because success doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from consistent, intentional movement in the right direction. When you stop obsessing over perfection, you free yourself from the weight of unrealistic expectations. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You stop waiting for all the stars to align. Instead, you start using what you have where you are right now. Progress is messy, it's uncomfortable. It's often invisible in the beginning. But that's how growth works, quietly, gradually, and powerfully. The seed doesn't argue with the soil, it simply breaks through it, inch by inch, until it reaches the light. You have to be willing to do the same, to grow through the dirt, to push through the resistance, and to trust that every little action is building something greater. Each day is an opportunity to be just 1% better than yesterday. That might mean reading one extra page, running one more minute, speaking one word of encouragement instead of criticism. Small actions repeated daily build habits, and habits build character. Most people underestimate the power of those small improvements because they can't see immediate results. But the truth is, success compounds quietly. Like interest in a bank account, every tiny bit of effort adds up over time until suddenly, the results are undeniable. You may not notice change day to day, but when you look back after weeks or months, you'll realize how far you've come simply because you kept moving forward. Progress also demands patience. You can't rush mastery, and you can't cheat growth. Every skill, every goal, every transformation requires time and repetition. The key is not to lose faith during the slow seasons, because while it might look like nothing's happening on the surface, underneath it all, you are building strength, resilience, and wisdom. You're training your mind to stay committed even when motivation fades. And that's where real improvement begins. In those moments when it would be easier to quit, but you choose to keep going. To get better each day, you must also learn to celebrate your small victories. Too often, people ignore the progress they've made because they're fixated on how far they still have to go. But acknowledgement fuels confidence. When you recognize your progress, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that your efforts matter. That belief becomes momentum, and momentum creates more progress. It's a cycle that can transform your entire life. Another essential part of progress is learning from your mistakes without being defined by them. Failure isn't proof that you're not improving. It's evidence that you're trying. Every setback teaches you something new about your process, your mindset, and your limits. If you can see failure as feedback instead of defeat, you'll move forward faster than anyone stuck in the fear of making mistakes. Remember, the people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail, learn, and keep moving. Progress is also about awareness. You must constantly measure where you are and where you want to go. Reflection keeps you grounded. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me forward? What did I learn? What can I do better tomorrow? Those questions force your brain to stay engaged in your own growth. They keep you accountable. They remind you that every day matters. You don't need to overhaul your life to make it better. You just need to keep moving in the right direction. Improvement isn't a sprint. It's a lifelong marathon. The difference between the person you are and the person you want to become lies in the small, consistent choices you make daily. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop holding yourself hostage to unrealistic expectations. Take the next step. Do the next thing. Give yourself permission to progress, even imperfectly. Because the truth is, perfection will always be unreachable. But progress is always within your grasp. And if you commit to that one idea, to being just a little bit better every single day, your life will transform in ways you can't even imagine. Every single day. Your life is being shaped by the things you do repeatedly, your habits. Whether you realize it or not, your daily actions are sculpting your future, moment by moment. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. If you want to get better each day, you have to take control of the small, consistent behaviors that define who you are becoming. Because your habits are the foundation of your destiny. They build your identity, they create your results, and they determine the direction of your life. The truth is, most people underestimate the power of habits because they seem small and insignificant in the moment. Skipping one workout doesn't seem to matter. Hitting snooze once feels harmless. Scrolling on your phone for 10 extra minutes seems trivial. But those moments compound over time. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. When you make the same choice over and over, it hardwires your behavior until it becomes automatic. That's why change doesn't start with massive action. It starts with conscious decisions repeated daily until they become your new normal. To create lasting growth, you must build habits that align with the life you want, not the life you're trying to escape. If you want to feel stronger, build a habit of movement. If you want to feel more at peace, build a habit of stillness. If you want to grow mentally, feed your mind daily with knowledge and reflection. The process is simple but not easy, because your brain is wired for comfort, not growth. It will always try to pull you back to what feels familiar, even if that familiarity is holding you back. That's why discipline matters. Discipline is the bridge between intention and transformation. It's not about forcing yourself through willpower alone. It's about designing an environment that supports the person you want to become. Your surroundings either fuel your growth or feed your stagnation. If you're surrounded by distractions, negativity, or people who reinforce your old patterns, you'll struggle to evolve. But if you intentionally build an environment that supports your new habits, by removing temptation, setting reminders, and connecting with people who inspire you, growth becomes natural. You're no longer fighting yourself, you're flowing with your own design. That's when discipline transforms from a struggle into a lifestyle. Another key to building powerful habits is identity. Most people try to change their behavior without changing their self-image, and that's why they fail. They say, I want to quit smoking, I want to lose weight, but they still see themselves as the same person who struggles. You can't outperform the story you believe about yourself. To truly change, you must align your habits with a new identity. You have to start saying, I am someone who takes care of my body. I am someone who stays calm under pressure. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. Once your identity shifts, your habits follow naturally. You no longer have to fight for change. It becomes who you are. It's also important to recognize that building new habits requires patience and persistence. You won't see the results right away, and that's okay. Growth is invisible at first. The real magic happens behind the scenes, in the repetition, in the discipline, in the days when it feels boring or pointless. But if you stay consistent, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. You start to believe that you're capable of change. And that self-trust becomes the fuel that drives you forward. Even when motivation fades, don't underestimate the power of routine. The most successful people in the world don't rely on random bursts of energy. They rely on systems that keep them on track. Systems turn goals into habits and habits into results. So instead of trying to feel ready, create a system that makes taking action automatic. Schedule your workouts. Set aside time for reflection. Plan your priorities before your distractions take over. Because when your habits are strong, you don't have to think about what to do. You just do it. The beauty of habits is that they don't just change what you do. They change who you become. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the belief that you're capable of more. And as your habits evolve, your identity expands. You begin to live with more confidence, more clarity, more power. You stop being controlled by your old patterns and start becoming the architect of your own life. Getting better each day isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, consistently. It's about replacing the habits that drain you with the ones that build you. When you live by design instead of by default, you take command of your growth. You create momentum that keeps compounding day after day. And before you know it, those small, intentional choices you made every morning, every night, every moment, they add up to something extraordinary. Because success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Your mind is the command center of your entire life. Every thought you think, every emotion you allow, every belief you hold creates the reality you live in. If you want to get better each day, you must start by mastering your mindset. Because your external world will always be a reflection of your internal state. You can change your habits, set big goals, and work harder than ever. But if your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, you'll never rise above the level of your thinking. Growth begins not with your actions, but with the stories you tell yourself about what's possible. The difference between people who grow every day and those who stay stuck isn't talent or luck. It's mindset. When life challenges them, those with a strong mindset see opportunity. Those with a weak one see defeat. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are instructions your brain follows. If you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your mind finds evidence to support that belief. If you say, "I'm learning and improving," your mind opens to growth. The mind believes whatever you feed it, so if you want to improve, you must take full control over what you allow to take root. Each day, you have to consciously plant thoughts that empower you. Gratitude, focus, and belief should be your mental foundation. Start your day by directing your mind toward what's good instead of what's missing. Gratitude reprograms your brain to see abundance rather than lack. When you focus on what you already have, you attract more of what you want. Instead of dwelling on problems, train your mind to ask empowering questions. What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What's the opportunity here? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Weak questions keep you stuck. Powerful ones move you forward. But mastering your mindset isn't about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing how you respond to life. You can't control what happens, but you can always control how you interpret it. Every setback can either define you or develop you. The choice is yours. When something doesn't go your way, instead of spiraling into frustration, pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what this experience is trying to teach you. Every challenge is a test of your resilience and your belief in yourself. Growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your limits. But those limits are only illusions created by old patterns of thinking. If you want to get better each day, you have to make your mind your greatest ally, not your biggest enemy. The thoughts you repeat become your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your identity. That's why it's crucial to be intentional with your self-talk. Speak to yourself like you would to someone you love, with honesty, compassion, and strength. Replace "I can't" with "I'll find a way." Replace "I'm stuck" with "I'm evolving." Every time you speak power over your life, you train your mind to find solutions instead of excuses. A powerful mindset also thrives on continuous learning. Feed your mind every day. Read, listen, observe, and expand your awareness. Exposure to new ideas stretches your thinking and helps you break out of mental patterns that limit you. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, not those who keep you comfortable. The energy around you influences your mindset more than you realize. If you're surrounded by negativity, it's only a matter of time before it seeps into your thoughts. But if you immerse yourself in positivity, vision, and purpose, your mind begins to rise naturally. Stillness is another key part of mindset mastery. In a world filled with noise and distractions, silence becomes your superpower. Take a few minutes each day to disconnect, breathe, and center your thoughts. This isn't just relaxation. It's mental reset. It's in stillness that clarity is born. When your mind is quiet, your intuition speaks. You begin to see your path clearly, and your actions become more intentional. The truth is, getting better each day doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes it means thinking better. It means releasing the old stories of who you were and stepping into the truth of who you can become. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. If you build with fear, you'll create walls that trap you. But if you build with faith, you'll create bridges that lead to possibility. Every day, you have the power to reprogram your mind, to strengthen your perspective, and to shift from limitation to creation. The moment you take full responsibility for your mindset, everything changes. You stop waiting for circumstances to improve and start creating the state that allows improvement to happen. Life will always test you, but a trained mind sees every test as training. When you master your mindset, you stop reacting and start responding. You stop surviving and start thriving. And that's how real, lasting growth happens from the inside out. Because once your mind believes, your life begins to follow.